Hello everyone and welcome to Beast Quest Beast Review Specials Part 3. I'm your host Adam and this has been ages since I've done a Specials review. Ages since I've done Beast Review as well, but now I'm finally on Specials because I ran out of the main series to review. Until Series 25, well, second half comes out in September. But until then, Specials. So, as this is part 3, I got specials number 7, 8 and 9 with me. They are, in order, Rivera, Rule of the Underworld, Raksha, the Mirror Demon, and Grashgor, the Beast Guard. Now, just by design alone, some look better than others look kind of bad. But, as you know, I judged them based on the design on the cover, so they may look better in the book, maybe not. In my opinion, none of them do look better in the book, or they either look the same or worse. So yeah, moving on. Okay, let's get started with Rivera, Rule of the Underworld. Design is a 7 out of 10. It's basically Sultra, but with 2 eyes, green skin, and a white rag over her. It's essentially a human, like a phantom, yeah. A human crossed with a phantom, basically. That's essentially what it is. I will say I like the blood splodges all over her clothes, and having the Hounds of Avantia's leash going through her hands, I think is a nice touch. But other than that, it's just a simple design, and I'm not a fan of it, but that's good score though, 7. Abilities is an 8 out of 10. Now, for Rivera's abilities, she gets her power from the moonlight and the leashes that hold the Hounds of Avantia. So she just gets power from that, making her stronger. Not fight-wise, but more like being able to take a hit-wise kind of thing. But going along with the Hounds of Avantia's abilities, because I added up those abilities as well to her abilities. Hounds of Avantia, they essentially can't die. And a bite or scratch from one turns you into one of them. So essentially, a giant doggo army. I wouldn't mind being the alpha of that army. Yeah, moving on. So yeah, great abilities for the Hounds, not so great for Rivera. So if we're gonna do without the Hounds, abilities for Rivera will be probably a 5. But adding along with the Hounds of Horror, no, that's Brutus. Hounds of Avantia, it'll be 8. So yeah, fight without the Hounds of Avantia, it'll probably be a 5. It was longer than 1 chapter, but it just felt boring in my opinion. There was so many stuff missing from it, and yeah, just kind of boring. It was essentially a chase, and then Rivera fell into a pit of lava. Okay. With the Hounds, however, it spanned over story 1 and story 2, and had Epos Inferno helping block the moonlight to Rivera, making her a bit weaker. Have Tom cut the leashes, making Rivera weaker, hence why being able to die. But with the Hounds fighting, they slashed Alina and Tom. So whilst they're fighting, it's a race against time before they turn into Hounds as well. The fight against the Hounds I thought was more interesting than a fight against Rivera. It is my opinion though. Story-wise, however, I will say it's okay. And I'm saying okay because it is a unique story, unique concept for the Beast as well. But unfortunately, I kind of got bored of it the first time I tried to read it. The first time I tried to read this was before I did Series 18 review. As you could tell, I'd given up on it then. Came back to it a couple of weeks ago actually. So yeah, Rivera, kind of boring in my opinion. But with Rivera alone, take away the Hounds of Avantia, Rivera's total is 17 out of 30. Now I'm being kind today So I decided to add the abilities with the hounds, which will be 23 out of 30. However, that's the highest Revera's going to get, and that's all I can say about Revera. Obviously, for Battle of the Beasts, Revera will not have access to her hounds. However, I think to make the tournament more interesting, I might have some exceptions. But if I do that, I'm going to need to let Carnivora have her cubs, Vespic have a swarm, and Mortax has his arena. So, you know what I mean. Like, if Revera's going to have her hounds, I think other beasts should have their help as well, kind of. Like cubs, swarm, servants. Like, servants is in another book. I can't remember what it is, but I know it's in another book. So total for Revera, this counting hounds, yes again, 23 out of 30. This beast only got this score for the hounds being counted. Yeah, if I didn't count them, she would get much lower, which I said would be 17. In my opinion, for story, it's alright. For beast, kind of disappointing, because I heard so much great reviews on this from friends I have which read this book and said, oh, it's my favourite book, oh, it's a great book, it's one of the best. I read it, I'm like, okay, yeah, I don't believe you, but okay, yeah, sure. So I'm not actually a fan of Revera. I wouldn't say I hate her, she is better than a couple other specials that I've reviewed so far. But I wouldn't say she's the best. She's nowhere near the best. She's not the worst. She's just... Out of all the specials I reviewed, which is the previous 6, she's better than Vedra and Crymon. And she's better than Kratos and Kildor. But she's not better than Arax, Creta, Spyros and Mortax. So, third worst, let's say, at the moment. Moving on to the next special, we have Raksha the Mirror Demon. Now, in my last beast review, I mentioned that there's no beast that got a 10 for design. That was before I got to this book. Raksha's design is indeed a 10. So Raksha has the distinct honour and privilege of being the first beast, and probably the only beast for a while, to have a 10 out of 10 for design. It is the most unique design for a beast I've ever seen, basically being a combination of all 6 of the good beasts of Avantia, and also having Tom's shield to have it as well, which we can only assume have his magical powers to it, so speed, resistance to cold, resistance from falling from high heights, water, healing, and fire resistance, and so much more, along great strength. So great design. Abilities we kind of gone into as well, which is an 8, so I'm going to assume powers of Tom's shield as he has. I hope it's a he anyway. I don't know, but I'm going to assume Raksha has access to Tom's shield powers, as well as having Epos' fireball power and the strength of Arcta, which is pretty good. No, not the strength of Arcta, the strength of Nanook, which is pretty strong, I guess. I just realised it's the strength of Nanook, and I hate Nanook, so... But yeah, great abilities. As is not confirmed for the shield tokens thing, I'm going to talk to Lucas about it after he reviews this, and we'll talk about it, whether we should include it for Battle of the Beasts. But as of now, it's just strength and fireball thing, which still got a rather high score, 8. Fight is a 10 out of 10. For the simple reason, it essentially took place in Avantia and Gorgonia. I thought we were done with Gorgonia back in Series 3, but we're not. So Gorgonia, what can I say about this? Okay, so basically the Lake of Light, which is where this battle took place, is like a portal between 2 realms. Tom fought Raksha briefly in Gorgonia, and then back in Avantia, where he climbed up Raksha and just one by one removed all the shield tokens, making all the good beasts which were under his control not doing anything for some reason. Just like drained of power they were, so not really under his control, but just power, their powers. Yes, that is actually what the blurb says. Thank you, blurb. Yeah, so one by one, this tokens got removed, giving the power back to that beast, and also taking it away from Raksha, where when that was all done, all the beasts came against Raksha, which overpowered Raksha, and instead of killing Raksha, some of the beasts went for the main villains, which were Capra, and I think Feldrick is the name of that other wizard. I'm probably wrong. Others went to protecting the bystanders, and others went to help Tom to beat Raksha. Eventually, I think Raksha just melted down into the lake, or just to the side of the lake where he just died. And the mirror which summoned Raksha was smashed immediately after. That's what happened. Okay, what happened was, I just remembered, Raksha melted down, but was being melted by the sunlight reflected from the mirror that Alina held up, which killed Raksha, or took him back into the mirror, where it was later smashed as soon as that was done. Getting rid of Raksha for good. I gave the fight a 10 though, because it brought all the beasts together, which, as you know, I like it when multiple beasts are in these books. But to have all of them there, having their own little responsibility to do, is great. And I think the best part about it was the fight in Gorgonia and then going back to Avantia, which is a great aspect in my opinion. Now, if you were able to add that up correctly, you know exactly that Raksha now has the new highest score to beat. It was Krokol in the last Beast of You episode, but now it's Raksha. 28 out of 30. An excellent beast with a great design and a perfect fight. Showing the good beasts protecting Avantia. Like, it's actually showing the good beasts doing what they're meant to do. It was said so many times that Raksha was supposed, the good beasts are supposed to protect Avantia, but we never really got more proof than that book. So that's why it became a great fight, because the beasts are actually doing their jobs. Protecting the citizens, beating the beast, and of course beating the villains. With the help of Tom and Alina, of course. But other than that, pretty good. Okay, moving on to the last beast in this review. And actually the first one out of these three that I've read. This was in a school library though, ages ago, so I actually don't remember much of it. But after rereading it, I just thought, after rereading this Crash Course, I did not remember any of it from when I read it at school. But I do know it was this book that I read though. Design for Grashkor the Beast Guard is 8 out of 10. It's essentially like Arax, but less like a gargoyle. Kind of like a gargoyle. It's like Raksha, but with the whip being replaced for a bone whip, so more violent, I guess. Along with the armour that Grashkor has, I gave it the slight boost. I believe Arax scored an 8 out of 10 for design as well, so yeah. So it's not really much to compare it to. It just looks a bit better in my opinion. Abilities are an 8 out of 10. It can fly, incredibly strong, and like I said, bone whip. Do I need to say anything else? And he gets his power from his strength, I guess, from his prisoners that are trapped in the Chamber of Pain. So the more prisoners in there, the more power he has. Okay. Good start. 8, get another 8, and then you got the average score. So the fight, however, is a 10 out of 10. Now, with most beasts, they're fought in an area where they would destroy it, but destroy the area to beat Tom, but not really to the extent of risking his powers and life. Grashkor did that though by destroying the Chamber of Pain to drown Tom, Alina, and their comrade Sebastian. Unfortunately for Grashkor, it didn't work. He still had some strength left after the Chamber of Pain sunk. And that's when Alina called on Sepron, Furno, and Epos to basically tag team against Grashkor, which ended Grashkor so badly. But I think with that ending, because it was shown in Series 15 that he's still alive, it kind of like just removed him of the evil aura that was around him. So because basically what happened after that fight, Grashkor got revived along with the Chamber of Pain, meaning he still has the power of those prisoners, and the prisoners are alive as well. So that's good. That's good. I think it's just the evil aura that was around him just relinquished. I think that's the word. So he's a good beast now, protects the Chamber of Pain, and will kill anyone that comes onto that island. Something else I need to say about the fight, it was an air, land and sea battle. Now, you know I like my air battles, you know I like my sea battles, but to have 3 terrains of battles in one book, you know I'm going to love it, and I do. So Grashkor got a 10 out of 10 for fight. Now, the total for Grashkor is 26 out of 30. The fight was perfect. Being on land, sea and air, man, it's like I know what I'm going to say here. Being on land, sea and air, the design abilities are good, but kind of expected for some of the abilities, with the flying, the wit, the strength. The more power he gets with the more prisoners he has, that I did not expect. But it does make sense for his title being called Beast Guard. So, guarding people which are monsters to Avantia, I guess? Monsters, like, in quotations, I'll say. The totals now, design total is 25 out of 30, same as the last one. Amazing designs, all pretty good, and Raksha got the first perfect score for design out of all the beast reviews I've done. Abilities are 24 out of 30, good abilities all around. However, it would be lower if I didn't count Revera's hounds. It'll be 21 then. So, yeah, alright, I guess. The fights was 28 out of 30. Great fights throughout this batch. Would have wanted a longer one for Revera to maybe give her a higher score there, because she's obviously got the worst fight. But other than that, all of them were good. 2 of them were perfect, 1 was good. Okay, the grand total is 77 out of 90. The best score so far. All beasts were great, with Raksha getting a new high score and Raksha having a great fight. However, if it wasn't for Revera's hounds, the score would be lower. And I actually did the maths. It would be lower than Part 2 specials. Part 2 specials got 75 out of 90. Part 3 got 77. If you take away 6, because Revera's ability and fight without the hounds were 5, and they just got 8 for both of them with the hounds, it would just be take away 6 and they will have 71, which I believe is just higher than... No, not even just higher, way higher than Part 1, but lower than Part 2. I think I was a bit too kind to Revera, but yeah, that's pretty much all I need to say about this. They will all appeal to fans in different ways. Revera for the story, Raksha for the entire thing, and Grashkor for the concept on the story and the beast. Because I think Grashkor's story, in my opinion, is the best. Because it didn't bore me like Revera's did originally. And it wasn't a bit random. Like, Raksha's felt a bit random, but the beast is what this whole review is about, Beast Review. So I need to ignore that. But Grashko's story was my favourite out of this. Moving on to the 3-part ranking of these specials, which is of the specials I just done. I think it's pretty obvious, so let's get right into this. The worst out of all of them is Riviera. No surprises there. Beast-wise, not appealing. Story-wise, I admit it's good, but a bit boring at the start. Second is Grashko the Beast Guard. Now, design... No, this isn't Beast Review anymore. In my opinion, best story, like I said. Beast-wise, I would put it above Arax, but not higher than Creta or Spyros. So, in the middle. It actually is in the middle. Okay, moving on to the final beast, and that's Raksha, the Mirror Demon. Easily one of the best specials throughout all the specials I've read so far. Definitely better than Arax and Grashko. Better than Creta and better than Spyros. I wouldn't say he's better than Mortax, because Mortax had a better story in my opinion. But even though the beast is better, it's only for design. So I'm going to put Mortax as better than Raksha in my opinion. That might be nostalgia playing, but what am I going to do? So yeah, Mortax is still the best special. Raksha's really close though. Anyway, that's all for this time. If you like what you saw, leave a like, leave a comment, don't forget to subscribe, press that notification bell down in the corner below. Join me in the next video, which would, if it's Beast Quest related, join me in the next Beast Quest related video, which would be Specials Part 4 review. But that won't be for a while. I'm not even done with Ferrock yet, so... But the next video I'll be doing will be... okay, I'm going to skip that list, so it's just going to be ranking the Gen 8 gym leaders from Pokemon. So until then, I'll see you next time.